Welcome to 6 Minute Hump Day, where we help entrepreneurs get through their busy week with a dash of inspiration, motivation, and a touch of education.
Welcome to episode number 38 of the Jeff Knows Inc. podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Lopes. We got a special guest today, Erik Salzenstein. Erik's going to be educating us on finding your own space in business. Get your notepads, take a seat, and enjoy this awesome episode. We are live on the Jeff Knows Inc. podcast for our 6 Minute Hump Day. We got a special guest in from Florida, Erik Salzenstein.
And you said it right, man.
I said it right. Awesome. I appreciate that, brother. With our 6 Minute Hump Day, we have Erik who's going to be talking about standing out in your space. Erik, let's get going with it right away, buddy.
All right, let's do it. So, power of branding, right? In my personal story, I can really own this rebranding, right? I came out of prison 3 years ago. I had to rebrand myself, right? And I think a thing, if whatever space that you're in, properly branding yourself is huge. And so you ask yourself, how can I stand out in my space? So we're going to dive into how you can do that, how you can leverage your story to do that, and how you can really maximize your exposure, get more attention in how you're showing up, right? So the big thing is, what you think people don't want to know is most likely what people want to know, right? It's the little things that can connect you on a deeper level. It's your tough days. It's your, the flaws, it's the things that make you human. So if you're always trying to be perfect and polished, it's going to be really hard. And yes, there are ways that with that perfect, pristine type of brand, you can still stand out. But here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want to encourage you to leverage your story. All right. My story, going to prison, I have branded that as my signature talk as a speaker from prison to purpose. And that's how I show up. It's labeled on my bio, from prison to purpose. I'm not trying to hide that. I want to own that as part of my story. It's part of who I am. And so I think for the power of branding, it's really important that you do that, right? So now let's look at your story. How did you get to where you are today? What mistakes have you made? What flaws do you have? And here's the tip here. If you take any pieces of your story, you can connect a message to that. So I'll give you an example. As a coach, one of the messages that I always want to share is you have to have a coach, right? You have to have a coach. So instead of just coming on and always sharing and saying that message, you have to have a coach. Here's why. Here's the power of using your story to land a message to have you stand out in your space. So here's my story that goes with that message. So I was in county jail, and I remember being on a phone call with my dad. And I told my dad, I said, "Pops," I said, "I don't know how much time I'm going to get here, man, but I want you to know that I really, really want to change. And I want whatever amount of time God wants me to do, not a day earlier, not a day later." My dad said, "All right, son, we're going to get through this." And that was the first moment that we had hope for the future, right? Now, fast forward. So I set the intention, right, guys? And you all have the intention to start the business, start the podcast, write the book, lose the weight, fix the marriage. You have the intention, just like I did. Well, I go off to prison about a couple months later. I go off. I'm now in prison, starting my 4-year sentence. And I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have steps to follow. And so I reverted back to what was comfortable. I reverted back to the means, and I started slipping. I started falling off. And the big message here is that you have to be clear. You have to have a blueprint, a game plan, and that's where a coach comes in. And so if you're somebody who is tired of trying to figure it all out on your own, and you want help and clarity on what you should be focused on and what steps to take, just like I needed, I reached out to somebody for help. I got my first mentor to turn me around and set me on the right path. I want to do the same for you. So reach out, blah, 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 blah. So you see, I took my story, a simple phone call, it brought you to a whole nother space, and I connected it with the message of making sure that you have a game plan. And so for you, if we look at whatever space that you're in, however you're showing up, connecting parts of who you are, your family, your upbringing, your challenges, your wins, and connecting them to a message that your audience, that your ideal client needs to hear, is going to do great for your positioning. It's going to do great for you standing out. It's going to do great for you, delivering that message and really moving them to make a move in some way. So that's one tip. Connect your messages, different messages that you have, connect them to different stories that make you unique. And that's going to help you with brand awareness.
Love it, love it, love it. Is there anything else you want to tip on that?
Man, I don't know. I worked up a sweat here. I know I'm post gym, but like I'm over here. I'm getting into it. I'm moving on this one. So,
I love it.
yeah, no, I think I think it's super important, man. We try to hide things. We try to be perfect, and I love just massive imperfect action. And it's really just showing up. It's being transparent. It's being vulnerable. It's showing that you are human, your flaws and all. And naturally you have to be wary because people are paying you money for whatever you're in. So you do need to make sure that you are positioning yourself as an authority, as an expert. 100%. But at the end of the day, you're human. So don't be afraid to expose that. Don't be afraid to connect with your audience in that way. And a big way of doing that is sharing stories. People love stories, and that's a great way to separate yourself from the other people in your space. So
that is awesome. Way to end our 6-minute hum day. I greatly appreciate you coming on, Erik. On all our show notes, I'm going to put every single way how to get a hold of Erik through social media, through his website. If you're a coach out there or somebody that just needs to get a hold of somebody just to talk and see some clarity in your life, or as a coach trying to start up your own business, Erik is a great connection for you guys. And I'm going to put that all in our show notes. Do you want to last minute say anything to our audience, Erik?
Yeah, guys, big message that I have for all my clients is small steps create huge change. So no matter where you're at in your journey, it's super important that you recognize just clarity, right? It's wherever you're at. If you want to get to that next level, you have to be super clear on what steps you're taking. And just like the message I shared, it's getting a coach. So whether it's me or somebody else, reach out to the person who you feel could potentially help you. So that way we can get clear on your blind spots, get clear on the direction and what you need to be doing to get to that next level. So here for you, if you have any questions, if you are a coach, service provider, agency owner, and you're looking to scale online, then definitely reach out to us. We're doing some amazing things. We're getting great results for our clients and we're having a lot of fun. So I'm definitely here for you.
Thank you so much for coming on, brother. Have a wonderful day, buddy.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
I want to thank Erik for taking the time out of his busy schedule to get on the Jeff Knows Inc. podcast. Great information. I hope everyone was able to take something out of it. Like all weeks, guys, if you enjoy this podcast, tell your friends, tell your family. I'm trying to really build something special here. Leave a review. 5 stars would be absolutely amazing. Until next week, always move forward.